Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Thoughts on Education by Collegedunia. So today we are here with Dr. Girirajan Arumugam, the principal of Ali Muhammad Salegh Academy of Architecture. So hi, sir. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Sir. So before starting the show, I want to give brief introduction about this, sir. So, sir, full name is Girirajan Arumugam. Sir is presently working as a principal of Ali Muhammad Salegh Academy of Architecture, and he has graduated from University of Madras in year 1998. He received his master's degree in architecture from School of Architecture and Planning, Anna University in year 2000. So, sir has a total 20 years of a professional and teaching experience, and sir started his career in teaching in the year 2000 at Hindustan College of Engineering, Chennai. In 2002, he moved to Mumbai and worked with leading corporates, gained like Reliance Group. He was a responsible for opening 250 Reliance Web World outlets pan India in a span of 6 months. Later, he moved to Dubai in 2004 and worked as a project manager with Landmark Group and EA Remani Interiors. Sir is expert in project management and manage large scale corporate offices and retail projects in India and in Middle East also. He also has a particular interest in retail interior and design large scale retail outlets like Splash, Baby Shop, Shoe Mart, House Center, Gap, etc., etc., and hypermarts like Walmart, more mega stores, etc., in India and Middle East. So, Girirajan sir worked collaboratively with the business leaders, manufacturers, and private agencies to create a design that advertises the widespread implementation of modern materials like sandwich, acrylic sheets, glazed mosaics, digital print stones, composite marbles, etc. He worked closely in the implementation of pre-class walls and fast tensioning slab constructions. This is about this, sir. Sir, please, shall we start our interview?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thanks
The
for that.
first question. Yeah, sir. First question. What is your vision for the academy?
Well, it's like our vision. That is my vision as well as the institution's vision. It's basically to empower the students. It's like when I say empowering, that means it's like involving the students in the decision making process. Generally, if you see, it's like in most of the institutions, the students are not being empowered, or it's like they're not being involved in the decision making process. So, due to which it's like there used to be some kind of resistance from the student side to accept the kind of decisions which is being taken by the institutions or the management. So that's why it's like it is better to empower them so that it's like they get involved in the decision making process, by which it's like the students also gain the confidence and they become responsible individuals who aspire to become a full potential individual. On the other side, it's like if you see the vision, it's also makes the students to understand better in the working culture of the institution. And in that path of that vision, it's like we have already formed a students' council. And this students' council has like say presidents and vice presidents and heads of the departments. In each department, we have around 12 departments. So in each department, it's like we have student heads who like they frame the complete system of the institution, which is in a conducive way for their development, and it's basically this process also develops the leadership skills which is there in the students, and they become the great leaders of the future. That is our vision.
Yes, sir, that's nice, sir. So, while coming to the next question, sir, you're the principal of the college, right? So, what I want to ask, what is your philosophy of leadership? How would you describe your leadership style?
Uh, Actually, It's a good question, but I think it's like the philosophy of leadership I can tell. But about my leadership style, it's generally you have to ask my colleagues and my students. It's like we would be able to tell. But anyway, I will give my way of it's like how I do the leadership. It's like if you go about the philosophy, it's like any leader. It's like he should know the goal and he should choose the right path to achieve that goal. And when he's taking that path, that right path, it is not that like only he goes in that path. He has to take all the people, that is like say in case of an institution, like the students and the faculties, he has to take them along in that path. That is the role of any leader, according to me. And if you see, it's like my leadership style. It's like I used to generally understand the strength of the people that is around me, that is my faculties and my students. And it's like I try to develop them and scale them to new heights. So once I do that, it's like they become leaders on their own and they take care of the growth of the institution. That is how it's like I work, and that is my leadership style.
That's nice, sir. So, while coming to the next question, sir, what are the key factors that you keep connected with the education sector?
Well, it's like actually, in fact, it's like after finishing my master's, immediately it's like I started into teaching. You know, like so my career, I started my career as a teacher, and later it's like I moved to the corporate sectors. It's basically because it's like I felt a bit of like say in teaching requires addition, or it's like you need to have the knowledge of the profession, the practical aspects, you know. It's like that is where it's like I felt it's like I need to do the projects, live projects, and gain the experience, and then it's like we need to share with the students so that will have a mix of both theoretical and the practical knowledge which any teacher needs to have. So it's like with that, it's like I went and worked in various projects, in like say commercial projects, residential projects, and retail projects in India and abroad. And the knowledge which I have gained, it's like I wanted to always give it back to the society and give it back to the students community. So that's where it's like I came back to teaching again after a long time. I've served in the corporate sectors. Then it's like I have like say that's connection. It's like what you call, it's like the connection between the profession and the teaching. It's what it's like it's brought me back into the teaching sector. And I see teaching it's as a service to the society and to the nations. And only in teaching you get the satisfaction that you are giving back something to the society. And it's like for every nation, the youths are the most important contributors of the nation's development. So it's like when you are teaching the youth and taking them to the right path and taking them to the right and make them make the decisions in the right way, it's like it gives you a kind of satisfaction which no other profession can give. That is where it's like I came back to teaching, and I love teaching, and my passion is teaching.
That's happy. So while coming to the next question, as a principal, what do you think? What should be the university's top priority for the next 10 years? In the next 10 years.
Oh, this is actually very critical years. Like say, coming 10 years, it's going to be very critical for the education sector, especially. Presently, the government, the central government, has come up with the new education policies, and there is a lot of changes which is happening in the education sector. So the next 10 years, it's going to be a drastic change and a drastic movement in the education sector, especially. And as the new education policies come into the picture, it's like there are a lot of international universities which is going to come up, and they are going to open in India. So the challenge in giving the quality education, it will become the utmost priority for any institutions. So already, if you see, it's like our institutions, it's like towards that path of only quality education, and our strength is the education quality, which we don't compromise at any stage. And above all that, it's like if you see in the past 15 or 20 years and the next 20 years, it is going to be majorly into the technological developments, like say in terms of like say IT, the computers, and now it's like we are talking about like say the modern developments, like say virtual reality, augmented realities, all these things. It's like it is going to be a challenge, and this is where I'm looking at in the next 10 years. Our institution's priority is to cope up with the modern developments by imparting training to the faculties and the students in the modern technologies like say artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, and ultra-modern 3D softwares. So we've already started this, and we have already started giving training to the students in the modern softwares, 3D softwares like say Rhino, Grasshoppers, and all that. And we are pretty much sure that like we will be able to cope up, and the students, we will make the students to be future ready to cope up with the future demands of the industry.
That's nice, sir. So while coming to the next question, as a principal, what do you see the institution greatest strength?
As I said, it's like the institution's greatest strength is it's like we impart quality education. Our utmost priority is the giving quality educations to the students. So in that way, it's like our strengths are our faculties and the students. So we don't treat the faculties as our employees. We treat them as our family members. It's like in that way, it's like they also feel as if they are in a home and not in a working environment. And we also treat our students as our children, and we don't treat them as students. So it's like that makes them also to feel it's like they are in a home and not in an educational setup, it's educational institutional setup. And our utmost important strength is, as I said, is the quality of education. So it's like we not only teach, like say, architecture in our institutions, it's like we give importance for the human values, and we teach these human values and the contact to the students. So that way, the students feel it's like they are gaining more of the quality aspects of their human life plus the knowledge of architecture.
Yeah, sir, that's nice. So while coming to the next question, sir, what the student gain by studying in your institution?
Okay, it's like again it comes to the quality of education. That is what it's like they gain out of studying in our institutions. So we concentrate more into the quality of education, and we call it as like say AMS quality. So we always say it's like it is like say how, and we in the quality aspects we say it's like ISO standards. Likewise, it's like we have like say AMS standards. So the AMS quality is what it's like we call as our educations. So in many institutions, if you see, it's like they follow the traditional education systems, wherein the teachers, they just transfer whatever the knowledge which they have or which they've gained out of their teaching experience. But in most of the cases, what happens, it's like the integration of this subjects is not done to the practical projects, especially in architecture. It's like we do mostly the architectural designs. Every year, every semester, we have architectural designs. So these designs needs to have the theory subjects integrated into the design, which generally doesn't happen in most of the institutions. So we, in our institutions, we give importance for that. And mostly the exams, if you see, it's like it depends on the memorization of overall study, rather than it's the understanding of the subjects. So only if they understand, then they can implement their understanding into the design. And that is where it's like the importance of the theory comes into the picture in the design aspects. So it's like in our institutions, we give importance for the STEAM-based systems. It's like STEAM means it's like it is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So the mix of these, the blend of this STEAM with this design of the projects, that is design projects, is what is making the students to have a better understanding rather than just giving the traditional system of teaching theories and design. We don't just produce architects. It's like we produce, like say, entrepreneurs, and they become the leaders of the future. See, architects, it's like generally they are like say jack of all trades, and our students, after finishing, completing 5 years of course, like say architecture course, BArch, it's like they become jack of all trades, and they could able to take up any challenges of the which the industries poses. So it's like, as I earlier said about the Students' Council, through which it's like they gain the leadership skills. So these leadership skills, it's like makes them to open their own office, own firm, architectural firm, immediately after completing the BArch course. And many of our alumni have started and they are doing well in the business.
Yeah, sir, that's nice, sir. That was very good. So while coming to next question, sir, what would you like the people to know about your institution which they may not know?
Okay. See, in our, especially in our institutions, it's like we don't just teach architecture. As I said earlier, it's like we don't just teach architecture. So many people, many parents, they think it's like it's an architecture school. So that means it's like they will be teaching architecture. And my ward or my son or daughter will get an architecture degree by end of the 5 years. But it's like apart from teaching architecture, in our institutions, we teach human values, the morals, and the conduct, which will help them to groom them as a good human being, a good human to serve the society. So it's like when they're joining the institutions, they might think it's like they are joining like say any other institutions. But here, as I said, it's like they are not joining an institution, they are joining a family. Okay, so it's like we generally make every student to be comfortable in our institutions, and we impart the quality education along with the human values. And I would like to tell here, it's like we don't just give a degree, we impart like say human values along with the architectural degree.
That was very, very, very good, sir. I think this is this is the best answer ever given by any principal.
Thank you.
So, while coming to the next question, how does the curriculum of your institution ensure the best practice in industry?
Yes, it's like, in fact, for any institutions or for any education systems, the curriculum is the most important aspect, and so this curriculum is what is going to decide about their how it's like when they go out, how the industries see these curriculums and what is that is like which they are going to gain out of this. So that is where it's like our institutions is, even though if it is like say affiliated to Anna University, it's like we have to follow the syllabus prescribed by Anna University. Okay, but it's like we just want to give a different experience for the students. So it's not that like they have to just follow the syllabus given by Anna University, but apart from the syllabus, it's like we also make them an experience of a 360-degree learning experience, we call it as like. So let me explain you what is that 360-degree learning process. A 360-degree learning is nothing but it's the holistic learning. So as I was explaining earlier, it's like the holistic learning means it's like it is not only they'll be studying about like say building materials or building construction or about the services and all this. It's like integrating all this. It's like we expose the students to this team-based learning system, wherein it's like this science behind architecture and the technologies, the modern technologies, and the engineering behind the architecture and the arts, like say the creativity in architecture and the mathematics, which is also one of the important factors which is important for an architect. So we mix all this and we give a holistic approach. That is what we call it as a 360-degree approach in this learning process. And we blend this 360-degree learning process with, like say, the theory subjects with the practical live projects. Sometimes it's like we give live projects which is happening in our country. So we used to take those live projects and give it to the students. So the students get exposed to handling this live projects. So thereby it's like they get the experience out of it. Even though it's like they have a practical training during this 5 years of architecture course, it's like apart from like say the gaining the live projects which they are handling in their offices during the practical training session, in our institution also it's like we give live projects. So thereby they gain more experience. So at the end of 5 years, before they go into the profession, it's like they get to know how to handle a live project from start to end.
Okay, sir, that's very nice, sir. So while coming to next question, sir, what are the biggest challenges you see in the both for higher education and for the institution specifically?
Yes, actually, it's like there's a lot of challenges, biggest challenges, which is like say in the past 15 or 20 years, if you see the challenges which was faced by the institution was not much, but now it's like you can see that any institutions are facing a lot of challenge, and even the higher education, it's like it's seeing a lot of challenge. Because in terms of like say mushrooming of many institutions, it's like I should say it's like it is like low quality institutions. I should say this. This is the one of the most important challenge which is happening, and the saddest part is like the parents and the students instead of giving importance for the quality of education, it's like they are giving importance, like say whether the institution is near to my house or whether the institution is having like say fancy infrastructure. They are not looking at the quality of education.
Quality of education. Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
What
So-
you said is
Yeah, and it's like, see, it is like say in one of the ad, it's like they used to say in a gold ad, it's like our gold shop is located on the main road, and we have ample parking, and we have good interiors. Whether are these the requirement for any gold shop? It's like any customer who is coming to buy gold, they look at the quality of the gold jewelry which is being purchased. So it's like the quality of gold is very important. Likewise, in an institution, it's like the parents should look at the quality of education which the institution is giving, and it is not like the location of the institution. See, during my student times, it's like we used to have a dream. It's like we should study in BITS Pilani. BITS Pilani, it's like during our days, it's going to be like a dream institution wherein it's like everybody would like to study. But if you see the location of BITS Pilani, it's somewhere in a desert, and the temperatures will be scorching 50 degrees, which will reach in the summers. But still, it's like we were always had. It's like our ambition should be to study in BITS Pilani. So it's like that's where the quality of education was there. But now that is being compromised by the parents, which is one of the important challenge which any institution, the modern institutions are facing. And moreover, it's like even the students, the present students, we call it as Generation Z students, those who are born after 1995 to 2015. These students, they think more about getting marks and getting only a degree. See, the degree is just a paper. It's like that is not going to help them. Only the knowledge which they gain from any institution, it's going to help them in their career. So this is what it's like we teach our students in our institution, and we tell the students so the most important thing is not the degree, it is the knowledge, which is very important rather than just getting a degree. So this is going to be the challenge for most of the institutions, and we are also facing the same challenge, which we are trying to overcome in the coming years.
Okay, sir. So, sir, last question, sir. Any
Yes.
suggestion would you like to give the current youth and aspiring students?
Yes, it's that's what, as I said, for this present generation, Generation Z students, it's give importance for your knowledge. Don't give importance for the comfort. See, you will get comfort. It's at your home, and it's if you expect the same kind of comfort from the institutions, it's then you will not be able to get the knowledge. It's you have to strive hard to learn new things and get exposed and go out and get exposed to this new world and gain the knowledge. That is what is going to help you. And the future is going to be highly competitive, and only those who have the right knowledge will be able to thrive well in this world. That is what is my advice. Thank you.
That's very, very nice, sir. For me, that was the best suggestion I have ever heard, because because I've took many interviews till now.
Mhm.
No one gave such suggestions, sir, that which is useful to students, sir. And very, very thankful to you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Collegedunia, for giving me an opportunity to express my views and express about our institution, so that it's like the students and the parents will come to know about our institution. Thank you. Thanks a
And
lot. Thanks
we
a
are
lot.
also thankful from our side, sir, because you have given your valuable time for us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.